But it's the thing that I like the most is like he might be a Bond villain. I gotta before I get into that, I he might he's like a borderline Bond villain with like the Neuralink and shit. So he says he's for free speech, but he advocates on Weibo, Chinese Weibo social media that he talks praises the government over there. I mean, if you don't, you're probably going to get banned off of Weibo because it's Chinese and the government controls anything. So he could just be playing them in order to like get in good with Chinese people and do what he needs to do to get us into space. However, if he could take Twitter and he could not bring free speech and he could like do a bunch of shit, but I don't think he'll do that because when he tweets stuff and it's a meme and enough people call him out on it, he usually just does it. So it's like he's been polling people with tweets. He's like, "Do you guys want an edit button? Do you think Twitter should be free speech zone?"
I think it should be free speech. That's what I'm asking you. But I'm going to give you the ability to give me your choices so I can see how much.
I think he's trolling all the people because he started these tweets after he bought the stock, but before he was named board of the director. I think he was trolling the fucking leftist people that are like controlling it and looking at because they don't like him because he's always like bold and like that. Like he refused to censor Russia, the Russians, like we talked about, but they couldn't call him like a pro-Russian shitbag or whatnot because he challenged Putin to a fucking duel over for Ukraine, and he gave Ukraine Starlink. He actively helped
both places.
He actively helped Ukraine's war effort and didn't really help Russia.
Well, no, he helped the people of Russia that are
the Russian people, but so he didn't help he didn't help Putin's war effort. He helped the Ukrainian people, and you can't call him fucking. And he upheld his values of free speech, and they can't really dog on him. They can't. There's no avenue that they can attack him on.
You may not take a left.
You may not take a right.
If you take 4 lefts or 4 rights, yes, you're going to end up right back where you started. So that is pretty much your only option in this case scenario. Accept it, embody it.
Your
live
only
it.
path right now, it must be done. Your only avenue right now is to bow down to the Techno King. But you know when we were dominated by, because Russians are really good at rocket engineering. We've been, after we retired, I forget what year we retired our fleet in, but after we retired our spacecraft, we went to and from space most of the time with the Russians equipment, with the Russians. And even like we talked about it, the guy that was up there now came back on Russian equipment or whatever. But he started making the SpaceX and he got the contract, and now we have the I forget what it's called, the Dragon one, I think, or the Falcon rocket, and then I think it's the Dragon pod. We did a show on it. You can look back on that, but now we have our own fleet and we can start putting people into space again and stuff like that. But he has a friend in the Russian space program, and he like tweets back and forth with the guy, messing with him, and like the guy was like, this was way back in the way, but before, when he started the project, and he said something about watch out, we're gonna like mess with you. He made a joke about us being dependent on it or whatnot, and the guy came back and he was like, you better build a trampoline or whatever, and he was like, don't worry, I'll get that trampoline, something about a trampoline. And then after a few months later, after like all his rocket tests were successful and shit, he tweeted back at the guy, my trampoline worked.
You know, that reminds me of a crazy video I think we've all seen of the duct tape trampoline. Apparently it can be done.
You can make a trampoline out of duct tape?
I guess so.
I mean, duct tape is strong, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they put
I don't know how much duct tape it took. It was a lot of duct tape, but I only caught the end of a video, but I just felt it was relevant.
Helicopter blades are expensive and they fray. Yeah. They take they call it 100-mile-an-hour tape, but it's duct tape. Like they take that industrial duct tape and they like wrap the blades with it to like extend the life, so they don't have to replace them all the time. Because those helicopters, like especially the military ones, for like average flight, you have to like say a Black Hawk, for instance, you get one average flight mission, and then you have to disassemble it, which takes about a year, and then you got to clean it, and then you got to reassemble it, which takes about 2 years. I might have that backwards. It might be 2 years to disassemble and 1 year to put it, but yeah. So it's like we're constantly taking those apart and putting new ones together. At least I hope we are. I mean, it's our military. I wouldn't put it past us to have some seriously unserviceable equipment. in operation. But that duct tape's fucking shit.
Duct tape's great. Fixes all. Apparently.
But